In this village, twins are a curse.
Please, they are just babies.
Take them to the forest, or leave this compound, tonight.
She looked at her 2 newborn babies. Then she looked at the man she had loved for 9 years. She picked up her children, and she walked out. 20 years later, those 2 cursed babies owned the largest company in the region. And their father was standing at the gate, asking for a job. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Because this story will show you exactly what a mother's love can build, and exactly what a man's pride can destroy.
In the red clay hills of Imo State, deep in a village called Umuse, where mango trees lined every path and the river's sound was the first thing you heard every morning, Adiz and Chidi Okafor had been married for 9 years. Adiz was beautiful in the way that didn't announce itself. Quiet, deep, the kind of beautiful that made people look once and then look again without knowing why. Chidi was one of the most respected men in the village. His father had left him the land. He had worked it with his own hands. He was hardworking, strong, and a man of his word. The first year was good. So was the second. In the 3rd year they tried for a child. Nothing came. The 4th year they tried again. Still nothing. The village tongue started moving. Women whispered. Men shook their heads. Old Mama Neka said it out loud. That woman is barren. You need to take another wife. Chidi didn't listen. Not then. The 5th year passed. The 6th. The 7th. And at the end of the 8th year, Adiz became pregnant. Chidi danced in the yard. Neighbors came over. Wine was opened. Celebrations filled the compound. Even old Mama Neka said God's timing and meant it. Adiz was happy. She couldn't remember ever being this happy. But happiness, as it turns out, had a short shelf life. The labor was long and hard. The midwife, Mama Chisholm, stayed at Adiz's side for hours. Adiz screamed, cried, and prayed. And then a baby cried. Mama Chisholm's face tightened. There's another one, she said. Adiz didn't understand at first. What? There's another one inside. Twins. The second baby came easier. 2 babies. 2 voices. 2 lives. Mama Chisholm stepped outside. Chidi was waiting in the yard. You have a son, she said. Chidi jumped to his feet with joy. And a daughter. Chidi went still. Both of them. Yes. Silence. Chidi sat down slowly in the yard. He sat there for a long time. And inside, Adiz was holding both babies against her chest. Her son. Her daughter. Both of them at once. And she had never, not in 9 years of marriage, not in a lifetime, felt anything this large inside her. The next morning the village gathered. This was not a celebration. Old Diakba Matsi walked out slowly, leaning on his staff, and stood in the center of the compound. Twins carry a curse in this village, he said. His voice did not shake. It has always been this way. They attract dark spirits. Crops fail. Animals die. Families fall apart. Chidi stood with his head slightly down. What do I need to do? He asked. Either take them to the forest, or they leave this compound. Adiz heard this from inside the room. She had 2 babies in her arms. Both of them were sleeping. Both of them were warm. Both of them were breathing. And taking them to something called a forest, no. No, that night, Chidi came into the room. Adiz was waiting. Chidi. I heard what they said. And Chidi looked out the window for a long time. The village is talking, Adiz. My village. My family. My father's land. We're talking about our babies. I'm talking about tradition. Adiz stood up slowly. She gathered both babies close. Chidi. Look at me. He turned. These 2 babies are your blood. Your flesh. Your seed. Are you asking me to take them to the forest? Chidi didn't answer. Answer me. I don't want to, but what? Silence. And in that silence, Adiz understood everything. Chidi was afraid. Of the village. Of tradition. Of people. And that fear was larger than his children. Adiz closed her eyes. Then she opened them. All right, she said. Chidi blinked. All right. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine. Adiz wrapped her babies in cloth. She took her old wrapper, faded, worn, the color almost gone from too many washings. She packed a small bag. Chidi watched. He said nothing. When she reached the door, Adiz stopped. She turned back. These children are not a curse. One day you'll understand that. She walked out, into the dark, with 2 babies, with nothing else. Adiz walked that night. She didn't know where she was going, but she knew what would happen if she stopped. The babies would freeze in the cold air. So she kept walking. By dawn, she had reached the next village. A woman named Sister Ngozi, who ran the small church there, saw her coming down the road. She didn't ask questions. She brought her inside. She gave her warm food. She showed her a corner where she could rest. "You can stay here," Sister Ngozi said. "Why?" Adiz asked. "Because those babies are not a curse," Sister Ngozi said. "And you already know that." That night, Adiz wrapped her twins in the old wrapper and slept, for the first time in a long time, with something like peace. The years were hard, but Adiz didn't complain. During the day she washed other people's clothes. In the evening she cooked food to sell. At night she nursed her babies. As the twins grew, they helped. Her son Emeka was the kind of child who understood everything early, watching, absorbing, always processing. Her daughter Chisholm had her mother's determination, quiet until she needed to speak, then impossible to stop. Sister Ngozi enrolled them in the church school, free of charge. Emeka and Chisholm learned everything, from books, from life, from their mother. And what did their mother teach them? 3 things. Don't complain, work, and never, not for one single moment, let anyone make you feel small. At T14, Emeka placed first in the regional examination. At 15, Chisholm won a state-level accounting competition. Teachers were stunned. Who are these children? Where do they come from? Adiz said nothing. She just smiled and went back to work. One evening, Emeka came to her. "Mama, I want to go to university in Lagos." Adiz swallowed. "That takes money." "I know, but Chisholm and I can work. Both of us. We'll earn while we study. And you'll study at the same time?" "Yes." Adiz looked at her son. Then she looked at her daughter. "Go," she said. "But one condition." "What?" "Never leave each other. You are twins. In this world, that is your greatest strength." Lagos was big, loud, unforgiving. But Emeka and Chisholm had been raised for hard things. Emeka studied engineering. Chisholm studied business. Both of them worked while they studied, deliveries, translation, whatever came. They sent money home to their mother every single month. Adiz saved every coin. After university, Emeka found a small construction contract. Chisholm was doing accounting at a mid-level firm. Together they made their first investment. Failed. Second investment. Partially successful. Third. It grew. In the 17th year, the company took its name. Okafor Holdings. Not their father's name. Their mother's. Emeka chose it. "Why?" Chisholm asked. "Because she carried us," Emeka said simply. "The night we were born and she walked out of that compound with nothing. The only thing she had was her name. That's what she carried us with. So that's what we build with." Chisholm wiped her eyes. "Okafor Holdings it is." In the 20th year, Okafor Holdings was the largest construction and real estate firm in the region. Offices in 3 states. 200 employees. Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt. Emeka was CEO. Chisholm was CFO. And Adiz? Adiz still lived in the village. A small house, beautiful in its simplicity. Her own garden. Near Sister Ngozi. Every month her children came to see her. "Mama, come to Lagos," they'd say. "No," she'd say. "I'm fine here. This ground knows me." But one day Emeka called. "Mama, there's something I need to tell you." Scene 11. The application. 45 applications came into the Lagos offices of Okafor Holdings that day. The position? Construction director. The receptionist sorted through them. She set one aside. "This one's interesting," she said to the assistant. 30 years in construction. Imo State. Put him through for an interview. When the man walked in, his hands weren't shaking. But his eyes were tired in the way that comes from years of carrying something unspoken. His name on the form. Chidi Okafor. The old last name. The receptionist didn't know that. Chidi sat and waited. He studied the office. The wide staircase. The glass walls. Okafor holdings everywhere he looked. Powerful company. He needed this job. Emeka was at his desk when his assistant appeared at the door. Mr. Okafor. There's someone here for the director position. A Chidi Okafor. From Imo State. Emeka went completely still. Say that again. Chidi Okafor. His application is on your desk. Emeka picked up the form. The name. The address. The date of birth. He picked up the phone. Call Chisholm. Chisholm. Yes. Come to my office. Right now. Chisholm walked in. Emeka slid the form across the desk. She read it. Her face didn't change, but her hands very slightly trembled. Is this real? She asked. Yes. Silence. What do we do? Chisholm asked. Emeka sat back. First I call Mama. Adiz picked up. Mama. Yes, baby. Chidi Okafor applied for a job at our company. A long silence. I heard you. What should we do? Adiz was quiet for a moment. Then she said, That's your decision to make. I raised you to know how to live. You already know what to do. When Chidi walked through the office door, 2 young people were sitting behind the desk. A man. A woman. Chidi looked at them. The woman had her mother's eyes. The man did too. Chidi sat down slowly. Emeka spoke first. We reviewed your application, Mr. Okafor. Your experience is impressive. Thank you. You're from Imo State. Umuse Village. Chidi's posture stiffened slightly. Yes. How long did you live there? My whole life. Still do. Do you have family? Chidi paused. No. Chisholm spoke. You were never married? I was. But. He stopped. But. Chidi placed his hands flat on the desk. We separated. Did you have children? A long silence. No. That word sat in the room. Emeka and Chisholm looked at each other. Emeka stood up. He walked around the desk and stopped in front of Chidi. Mr. Okafor. There's something I'd like to show you. He opened a drawer. He placed a photograph on the desk. Chidi picked it up. A young woman. 2 babies in her arms. Standing in front of a village home. Chidi's hands began to shake. This is our mother, Emeka said. His voice was steady. Not angry. Not broken. Just true. Adiz Okafor. The woman who walked out of Umuse 20 years ago with 2 babies and nothing else. Chidi looked at the photograph. Then at Emeka. Then at Chisholm. And he understood. Their eyes. Both of them. Their mother's eyes. His eyes. Chidi could not speak. For a long moment he could not speak at all. Then he said, You are. Yes, Chisholm said. We are. The twins. The cursed twins, Emeka said quietly. Do you remember? Chidi put his face in his hands. 20 years ago. That decision. That night. The silence. Adiz's back. The sound of the door. And from that day until this one, he had never known what happened next. Because he never asked. Had he not wanted to know? Had he been afraid? Or had he simply... Did you ever look for her? Chidi asked. Did you? Chisholm asked back. The silence that followed answered everything. Chidi stood up. I was wrong. I made a terrible mistake. The pressure from the village. The village, Emeka said evenly. Did the village pressure you? Or did you choose? Chidi had no answer. Our mother didn't go to the forest that night. She walked. With 2 babies. With nothing. And did she stop? No. She worked for 20 years. She did everything herself. She raised us. And we built this company. With her name. Chidi lowered his head. Can you forgive me? He said. His voice broke on the last word. Chisholm spoke. That question isn't for us. That question belongs to our mother. That afternoon Emeka called his mother. Mama, Chidi is here. He wants to talk to you. A long silence. All right. Chidi took the phone. Adiz. Chidi. Silence. I know, she said. I'm sorry. I know that too. I looked for you. Over the years. But I couldn't find you. And then you stopped looking. Chidi said nothing. Chidi, let me tell you something. I forgave you a long time ago. Not for you, for myself. Because I couldn't carry that weight and carry my children at the same time. But forgiveness doesn't mean going back. Some doors close for a reason, and behind those closed doors, something better was always waiting. A week later, Emeka and Chisholm went to see their mother. In the village, Adiz was sitting in her garden. The sun was on her face. When her children arrived, she stood up and held them both. "What is it?" she asked. "I can see something in your faces. We just wanted to see you, Mama." Adiz laughed. "You're lying. But that's fine." They went inside. They had tea. They talked. And at a certain point, Emeka reached into his bag. He pulled out something old, worn, faded at the edges, the color almost entirely gone. The wrapper. "You still have this?" Adiz took it. She looked at it for a moment. "Always," she said. "Why did you keep it?" She thought about it. Because it was proof of that night. And proof of the beginning. Sometimes the worst night of your life is the first night of something you couldn't have imagined. 1 month later, Okafor Holdings held its annual gathering in Lagos. This time Adiz came. For the first time, when she walked into the boardroom, every person in the room stood up. Emeka stepped forward. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the true founder of Okafor Holdings." Everyone looked. "It isn't me," Emeka said. "And it isn't my sister." He looked at his mother. "It's her." Adiz walked to the front of the room. She set something on the table. The old wrapper. "This company started here," she said. Her voice trembled slightly but did not break. "On one night, with 2 babies, and one decision, the decision not to stop." The room was completely silent. "Let me tell you something. Success is not money. It is not a title. It is not an office with glass walls. Success is waking up every morning and continuing, no matter what, no matter who told you to stop." Scene 21. What this story teaches. Before we close, let's sit with what this story leaves behind. The first lesson. Fear is the most destructive force in any life. Chidi was not an evil man, but he was a coward in the moment that counted most. And that one moment of cowardice cost him 20 years. Every decision made from fear leads eventually to a place called regret. The second lesson. A mother's love has no ceiling. Adiz walked into the dark with nothing but 2 newborns and a worn-out wrapper. No money, no family, no plan. And from that night, she built something that 200 people now work inside of. Never underestimate what a mother will do for her children. The third lesson. What people call a curse is often a gift they don't have the vision to see. That village called those twins a curse. 20 years later, those same twins were the most talked about success story in the entire region. The people who try to diminish you are almost always afraid of what you are capable of. The fourth lesson. Never forget your roots. Emeka and Chisholm built a company worth millions. But they named it after their mother. Because they understood something that money alone can never teach. Success without roots is just noise. And the fifth lesson, perhaps the most important of all, forgiveness is freedom. Adiz forgave Chidi, not because he deserved it, but because she couldn't carry her children and carry that weight at the same time. Forgiveness is not weakness. Forgiveness is the decision to travel light. Adiz walked into the darkness on that night with 2 babies in her arms. And 20 years later, those babies had lit up an entire region. Not because they were lucky, not because someone helped them, but because their mother never stopped. Not for one single day. And that, more than any inheritance, any connection, any advantage, is the most powerful thing one person can give another. The decision to keep going.